Let me get this straight. You're up by 19 in the second half. You're 0-4 on this homestand. Your season is hanging in the balance, and you lose the freaking game to the Pistons on a 4-point play. You not only allow them to shoot a three when that's what they need to get the game extended, but you foul in addition to allow them shooting the three. This is rock freaking bottom. And you know what? Kiss the season goodbye because it's freaking over. This is an embarrassment. And you know what? Good for the fans that booed this team off the floor after the game. That's despicable. That is an absolute disgrace.
It started in the third quarter, Grant. Malik Beasley hits back-to-back threes. De'Aaron Fox turns the ball over. Let me give you a number really quick. The Kings had guarded the three ball incredibly well between the second and third quarter before those two threes, Grant. They had guarded it so well. 2 for 21 was Detroit. Beasley goes on the run to end the third, 37-22, ending the fourth quarter. Done. I'm not going to say the season's over, Grant, but somebody's going to pay for this one, Napes.
I'll tell you, if I hear Mike Brown get on that damn podium in a couple of minutes and praise the Pistons, I'm going to lose my freaking mind. Come down hard on your team publicly for once. Don't be praising the other team tonight. Your team gave the freaking game away. The Pistons didn't win the game. No disrespect to the Pistons because they now have a better record than you do. You gave the game away. You gave the game away.
8 turnovers in the second half. The Kings only got to the free throw line 8 times
and 5
in the
assists.
second half.
5 assists. They had 15 assists at halftime.
And Grant, we talk about, and I get it, De'Aaron had a very good second half scoring. Yep. But what happened in the first half, Grant? The ball was moving. Well, okay, but what was happening around him? The ball was moving. Even though he was not scoring, the ball was moving. Guys were contributing. De'Aaron gets his there in that second half. And at what cost?
When Jerry was on with me at halftime, that's the first thing I talked about. I talked about 2 things at halftime to lead off the show. I talked about the bench with 28 points, and I talked about the assist-to-turnover ratio. And then I said, I think the key in the second half is assist-to-turnover ratio because generally when that's good, the Kings win. What happened in the second half? You just pointed it out. It disappeared.
It went away. And like I said, De'Aaron scored. He finished with, 24, 25 in the second half. But at the end of the day, the team loses. And Grant, let me kick something to you, coaching-wise. You know who was coaching that final defensive possession? It wasn't Coach Brown in the seat in front of the players. It was Luke Laux.
That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all. I don't think he would mind me sharing this, but Scott Pollard told me when he was on the Cavaliers when they went to the finals that Michael Malone coached a lot of that team. First of all, it's not out of line or out of the ordinary to have an assistant, a coach, diagram, a play. And I'm talking about Luke might have been the guy, and I'm just giving this as an example for the fans that understand, okay? Luke might have been the guy that designed the scouting report.
Right.
That distributed the scouting report to all the, he may be the one that has end of game situations as his responsibility for the game.
Right.
And so I don't want fans to think that Mike Brown doesn't know what he's doing because he didn't diagram that play. That happens more often than you think. Again, you've got situational homework that you've done. Like what happens if you're down by 3? What happens if you're all kinds of situations? And Luke may be in charge of that for this game. Sure. And so it's better for him to tell the team what they need to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I know it rotates throughout the coaching staff on who's doing the scout, etc. I just find it apropos because there's been a big question around this town whether Mike Brown's taken a step back and whether, and I'm glad you educated everybody on that because whether you realize it or not, it is a team effort. Things are delegated, but for what happened, the way it happened here in this second half, after 4 straight losses on your home court to lose a style like that, Grant, something has to change.
What's De'Aaron Fox doing? Putting a hand on his shoulder in a situation like that?
He was out of control.
That's my point. What the hell is he doing? Is his head in the game? Is he I mean, that is just basketball 101, is it not, Ryan?
Yeah, but Grant, we got to throw basketball 101 out the book for this team this year.
Yeah.
They've jump or pump fakes left and right all season. You know, they stepped up across the board inside the paint. Keegan Murray rebounded well. There was more space, but you can't make that play. I expect that from Malik Monk, not Aaron Fox in that situation.
This reminds me of a game years ago when Paul George played for the Indiana Pacers and the Kings lost the game on the exact same type of a play. Paul George scored a 4-point play at the end of the game, and they beat the Kings by 1. And the fans booed them that night. And you know what? Good for the fans to boo this team. Ryan, the Kings just finished an 0-5 homestand.
Yeah,
they lost every game. Hey, happy holidays, Kings fans! Come support us. Hey, you coming in college break? No problem. We want to see you at the game. Yeah, all the tickets are going to be on the secondary market. You're going to have to pay a lot of money, but we want you there. Support this playoff team. 0-5? Really? Freaking 0-5? You can't even win a game at home? I mean, you're 6-12 at home. That's one of the worst records in the NBA on your home court.
Well, I guess, Grant, where do you pin it? What have we heard consistently? The bench is so thin. They have no depth. Well, guess what? Your bench gave you 38 tonight.
The bench was not the problem tonight. That's for sure. This team, you're up 19 in the second half, Ryno.
Yeah.
19. And it's like it didn't even matter, right? It's like the Pistons, I thought with 5 minutes left to go in the game, okay, there's no chance the Pistons are going to win this game, right?
Yeah.
Then with 2 minutes left, I'm like, I think the Pistons are going to win this game. I mean, it's amazing how the Kings just folded in the final couple of minutes of this game.
So,
Ryan, I can't believe it.
Napes, here's how the swing went. They gave up 2 offensive rebounds. Timeout. Coach Bickerstaff draws up a great play. Triple, then you get a double, 2 triples in a row, the 2 and then the triple to end the game. The Kings got 1 stop in the last 6 possessions.
Ryan, the Kings are up with 3 minutes and 8 seconds left. All right? They're up 107-97 after Fox missed a 26-foot three-pointer, okay?
Yeah.
It's 107-97 on your home floor with 3 minutes and 8 seconds left. All right? With 2 minutes, under 2 minutes, 136 left in the game. You're up 107-102. Okay? So you got 96 seconds left, and you're up by 5 points. With 1:16 left, you're up 4 points. And you lose because why? Because you're a bad basketball team right now, and your quote-unquote best player made a bonehead, stupid-ass foul. At the very least, you would have had 1 more possession, no timeout, but you would have at least had a chance to inbound the ball. And at the very least, overtime.
Yeah, and Grant, they let the Pistons score the entire second half from the free throw line. They shot 17 free throws in the second half. The Kings they put the Pistons in the bonus early on in the third and then about midway through the fourth. So you just do the math and give Coach Bickerstaff a lot of credit. He called timeouts at the right time. He understood the possessions that could have an impact on the game or a bigger impact, and the rest is history.
Think about the Pistons now.
They're on a great run.
Beat Kevin Durant at Phoenix, beat LeBron and Anthony Davis in LA, and come from 19 down in the second half to beat Sacramento.
Unbelievable.
How about that?
And in the playoff picture in the East.
In the East. They're in the top 10. The Kings aren't, you know?
Yep, indeed.
Appreciate the super chat donation from Mike Brown. The defensive coach is in the penalty 5 minutes into the fourth quarter every game. Right. That's very true.
It's a fair statement. It's a very fair statement.
All right, so there's a lot of talk about why the Kings did not foul up 3 with 10 seconds left. I look at this 2 different ways. I think 10 seconds is a little bit too long, but clearly, if you have a chance to foul after a couple of ticks, you do it, especially considering that the Pistons had no more timeouts. Okay? And so what that means is they can't get into a free throw shooting contest at that point and hope that they're going to get that last possession at midcourt because they're out of timeouts to advance the ball. So I think the Kings made a mistake by not fouling there when the Pistons are out of timeouts. Give them 2 free throws. Go to the other end of the floor. Even if you make one, they don't really have they don't have enough time to get a good shot off. So, yeah, you can question that. Ryan, I'll get to you. What do you think of that?
I'm not going to hammer the Kings for it because I don't hammer other teams for it. I think that is one of the trickiest fouls to pull off in the game of basketball. It's almost got to be perfect to make it work right. It seems like more goes wrong when you try to do that foul rather than goes right. So I think that's a really tough one, especially when you're a team that is the second worst in the NBA at defending the 3 ball.
All right. Your show today at 2:00 is Mike Brown coaching for his job tonight. Tomorrow at this time, will Mike Brown still be the coach of the Sacramento Kings?
I think he will. I do think that he will still be the coach of this team. This team, the beat that I'm getting from this team and from people I talk to and things that I have heard from people I trust is most of this team is on board with what coach is doing. The team is engaged. They're following the game plan. There's just some that are not always on that same page. So I think coach sticks around. Grant, this team's coming up to too crucial of a stretch with decisions to make that I don't see how Mike fixes or firing Mike fixes this. Will Mike be the coach, in your opinion?
I think he will, but I'm going to go back to what I said a couple of nights ago. Had it not been for the stupid extension in the summertime, I believe he would be relieved of his duties after the game tonight. But I believe because of the contract that he signed and the $30 million that he's still owed, I don't think they will.
Yep, I agree with you.
Right?
Yep, I think you're spot on. Spot on. And the crazy thing about this, Grant, is jumbled up as the West is. What bothered me more than anything, and I don't want to go on a tangent on Fox, but his comments today or yesterday after practice or 2 days ago after practice about our destiny's not in our own hands. We need help. You got 81 effing games left.
Yeah, you had 50 left beginning tonight.
Before this one.
52 games tonight. 52. You got plenty of time to make it up in 52 games.
What are we talking about? So
it's embarrassing. He doesn't want to be here. I can tell you right now.
Be here. I'm with you.
And I'll ask you, Ryan, of all of the players right now to make that type of a mistake at the end of the game, that is, that's going to be, a lot of fans, the social media, everything, they're going to come down hard on Fox now. I'm not saying that's 100% justifiable, but that's the way the real world works. It's certainly not going to change his mind about staying here. I can promise you that.
No, and look, it wasn't just that mistake, even though it was a big one. He had a terrible turnover in the backcourt in the fourth quarter. You could just keep going. He wasn't the only one. There was other players that played a terrible second half, but let's get you in on the conversation. You can call using the QR code. Also, we will keep putting the link in the chat. Let's kick it off with chat.
And while we get to the call, I just want to say De'Aaron Fox by far the worst plus minus of the game, -13. No one else was worse than -4. He was -13.
There you go.
This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. They're losing every easy game at home, like faggots who like to gangbang Ryan. And I can't believe that we're still like in this fucking situation. It's ridiculous.
Good night, Chad. Have a good one. Don't call the show again. Jay, what's going on tonight?
What's going on? How you guys doing?
Well, I've been better. How about you?
I've been good. Surprisingly, I never really took my foot off of the gas in a strange way. Tonight's game, I've seen Kings lose the lead, and I know 20-point leads today aren't really much in the NBA. So like Grant, you were saying, the Kings are going to bring this one home with 5 minutes left. And then as the clock winded down, you're like, oh no, I don't know if they have this. No, I was to the last second. I was like, I don't think they have this. The Pistons obviously are a much better team than they were last year. So credit to them for what they're doing, for their new coach and everything. But to answer Ryno's question or Grant's question and Ryno's show from earlier today, I do think Mike Brown will still be here. And contrary to maybe many other beliefs, I do think Mike Brown coached a hell of a game tonight. I don't think Coach Brown did anything wrong. I think he took timeouts at the right time. And I think that rather than waiting to nip stuff in the bud, he was able to kind of put a stop, or at least attempt to put a stop into the momentum shift that the Pistons had early on rather than wait. This one is on the team itself. This one is on you're the head of the snake.
Okay, I'll go along with you there, but here is the deal. Mike Brown's the coach of a team that almost everyone projected to be in the playoffs this year, and they're currently third from worst in the West with a record of 13-18, and on their home floor, in which they're sold out almost every game, they're 6-12. That's the coach's got to take some responsibility.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. I will say, you're going to have a lot of criticism for that last play up with the terrible foul. But also,
awful.
I think De'Aaron Fox went 0 for 7, and he blew a wide open layup in the first half.
Yes, he was terrible in the first half.
Yeah. You got to. I mean, you can't do that as an all-star.
But in all fairness, the Kings had a very high point total, and Ryan made a good point. The ball was moving, even though Fox was not scoring.
Yes, and Trey Lyles, as you know, Grant, he was pissing me off this year. He had a great game. So,
yeah, one game doesn't do anything for me.
Oh, I know, but I'm glad that he was able to do something else.
You know what? It's good for the teams that might be interested in trading for him. That's what it's good for.
Grant, I wasn't.
I'm just telling you the way it is.
No, I know you're being honest, and I was thinking the same thing too. I had just, I was gonna be a little bit easier on him, but hopefully teams do see that.
I'm not being easy on anyone. You know why? Because this team's an embarrassment to the city of Sacramento right now.
Yep.
And so, I'm not being easy on anyone, because the fans like yourself and everyone else that's on this stream that roots for this Sacramento Kings team deserves better. Okay. So I'm not going easy on anyone, because you freaking deserve better. An 0-5 homestand when you're right in the thick of things in the West during the holidays, that's freaking disgraceful.
Unacceptable. 100% agree with that for sure. And I know Kings fans all over Sacramento and around the world are probably pissed off right now. I'm kind of more level-headed because I was almost expecting this. And as I mentioned earlier in another show, you kind of want to go down the spiral because it's going to have to force someone's hand in order to make something happen. I don't think Mike Brown is going to be the guy to go. I think you trade for somebody else. Not sure what trade it's going to be, if it's going to be around the edges or if it's going to be something big, but they're going to have to.
Mike Brown's got the team handcuffed. He's got a big, shiny new contract with a
That's
history
true.
of an owner who has done nothing but pay people not to work, going back from whether it's, pick any coach you want during his tenure or general manager. They all got fired and they all got paid for years.
Mike Brown is still getting money from the Cleveland Cavaliers and back in the early.
Yeah, but you can't double dip, so it's not a lot.
Oh, okay. Well, Devin Carter's back. That's the good news. And I want to hear your rant for today. So a rant idea would be
Devin Carter better be Michael Jordan if this team's going to make the playoffs. No, I'm serious. I mean, if you think that Devin Carter is going to be a difference maker right now.
Oh, no, I don't think that. It's just it's something positive that we can.
Yes, it is positive.
Yeah.
You're right. It is positive.
No, I do not expect him to be freaking Dalton Connect over there, but hopefully he's decent. And speaking of that, I'll give you a rant idea on Monty McNair in the front office. We normally talk about players, coaches. Let's hear what you got to say about the front office, but I'll hop out and let you guys keep going.
Thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate
it. You guys. Hope you have a great rest.
Thanks, Jay.
I just did a rant last week on that. So, but Ryan, 13-18. Think about that for a second.
13-18.
13-18.
You remember Detroit last year? One of the Kings' worst losses on their home court?
Yep.
Is this one worse?
Yes, it is worse. Yes, it is. Because of the way you lost the game. Do you disagree?
No, I completely agree with you. In fact,
the situation of this situation, Ryan, 0-4, sliding in the West. Guess what? The Portland Trailblazers now are breathing up your back. Well, listen.
I know.
And here's the other deal, Ryan. Ryno, you're 4 games back in the loss column of the final spot in the play-in. I know there's 51 games left, but that's a sizable margin.
That is a big margin.
And I hate to repeat myself. The Kings haven't played the best teams in the league yet.
Correct. And look at the teams ahead of them right now. I don't see a ton of them coming back to the pack. We've talked about some of them that might, but you have Shams coming out saying that the Lakers are looking to make a big move. We know
Yep.
the Warriors are in that boat. Does Dallas fall too much without Luka indefinitely? Who knows? But they have put themselves in a significant bind. And look, I think Devin Carter should be pretty good based off his college career, growing up with a dad that was a veteran in the NBA. He ain't that good to save this season, I don't think, Napes.
Nope. You know, I don't see that. I guess Mike Brown was very critical after the game, very critical of the team's lack of execution down the stretch. And again, stop me if you heard this before. Very critical of their attention to detail down the final few minutes, and of course, the final play of fouling Ivy. So he was very critical of the team's attention to detail. Don't we hear that almost every game?
We do. In fact, I'm going to go to a share screen. I was watching the final sequence again. Let me pull this up for us really quick, Grant. Lot to be critical there of. If you are Mike Brown, look at that ball swinging to the strong side. It's the last possession. Fox is not even close to his man, which forced that overreaction of not even a closeout, a contest where he was out of control. That is.
And what's the only thing that can beat you? What's the only thing that you cannot allow there?
A 3
Okay.
point.
And so all right, look at everyone else. They're in perfect position, right?
Perfect.
Except for Fox. What the hell's he doing? That's a great job that you put out. And so that's what Mike Brown's talking about, the attention to detail. That's best. I mean, Ryan, come on. I mean, really? The only thing you cannot allow in that situation is a 3, and De'Aaron's playing off his man like that. That means, you know what that tells me? His head's not in the game.
On the strong side as well. There is
on the strong side, the side of the ball. Great point. Even in this situation on the weak side, it would not be appropriate.
No,
but on the strong side,
yes,
right.
Unbelievable. Wow. Chang,
that's you know what? It's inexcusable, Ryan.
Chang, what's going on?
Hey, Ryno. I'm just curious with you both that is there a finish that this team, like, so the regular season record, that you can kind of have hope with the core? Because I feel like everyone's off the core for that. We were pretty much talked about last year where the team's built about Fox, Sabonis, Monk, and Keegan. But I feel like at this point, we're just off the core and we don't even know what direction this team is, because I'm assuming they're going to make trades for role players. But even then, I don't know what finish we can have where we feel comfortable even going forward with this team.
Trades right now to me aren't going to help this year. That's my opinion. Any trades that are made, in my opinion, are for the future. They're not for this year. Because I hate to say this, Kings fans, I think you're done this year. I don't think this team is even going to be a top 10 team in the West, because as I keep on talking about, their toughest games are still ahead of them. They haven't played any of the top teams in the East. All right. And they've only played Oklahoma City once, and have only played Houston once, and they've only played Memphis once. So if you can't beat Detroit at home, you're not beating Boston, you're not beating the Knicks, you're not beating Milwaukee, you're not beating Cleveland, you're not beating Oklahoma City. I mean, let's just call it the way it is, okay?
At this point going forward, is there anyone on the team you feel that you would kind of want to build with? Or because I think in the previous live streams, you guys have been talking about retooling and rebuilding. Because I feel that at this point, if it's going this bad, I don't know if there's even any retool we can do, and we may just have to do a rebuild. But
look,
I wouldn't do a rebuild personally, but Ryan, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think you need to rebuild. I hit this at length earlier today. If you get the right deal for Fox, if you get a decent deal for De'Aaron Fox, which brings you back in return a distributor, a point guard, somebody that can play a role, somewhat of a TJ McConnell, somewhat of a Josh Hart, give you something like that. You have Malik as your 2. To me, this becomes more of a recalibration with the pieces that you have right now, and you have Devin Carter, who's going to be firing up. Now, if you play this game where you maybe try to appease Fox, bring in another piece, trade away somebody else, like, for instance, Keegan Murray, who is your defensive guy. We saw what the Kings looked like without him against Denver. To me, that's where the rebuild starts. So wrap Fox up in bubble wrap and try to get a good deal for him, because
You better hope he doesn't get hurt.
yeah, to me, Grant, he quit on the team. To me, that is a quitting play at the end of a game.
Yep.
Quitting play.
Yep. Well, let's see how the coach handles it.
Well, everybody, the people that I'm looking at says it was clear, concise, and much of it was directed directly at De'Aaron Fox. We're working on getting that audio right now. Chang, thanks for the call. By the way,
yeah,
I do want to play this really quick. If you weren't with us earlier today, what we're talking about was after practice on Christmas Eve, after the Kings were booed off the court the night before, De'Aaron was asked about the team, and he was asked, did the team quit? Here's how he responded to all those questions.
You say what's been running around quick?
The word quit.
The word quit? I mean, at what point do we quit? I don't really know what that is supposed to.
Well, everybody think that the team, pretty much just gave up, stopped winning.
I mean, they went on a run. Obviously, we were trying to start to weather the run and go on our own run. We didn't. I think 4 or 5 minutes left in the game. It's pretty normal.
Back-to-back games, too. A little fatigue.
It was what?
A little fatigue made it do the mix in there, too. Would you say so?
No. We couldn't get a stop. We couldn't make a shot.
12th in the West right now. Just what's your perspective on how tough the West is and how much one win streak could still climb you guys up there?
I mean, it could help us, but right at this point, other teams, we're in that spot where other teams have to help us as well. So, obviously, we want to continue to control what we can control, but we've put ourselves in a position to where we kind of don't control our own fate. But at the end of the day, you still want to be able to roll off.
I mean, you played it on your show. I played it on my show. He's going to leave. He's going to be traded. It's just a matter of is he going to be traded like in the next week or 2 weeks or right before the trade deadline or in the offseason. He's not going to be here.
100%. Everybody can read between the lines for themselves. I'll give you my reading between the lines. The season's over. That's what De'Aaron's saying. Quit? No, we just didn't get a stop. We didn't make a shot. No, pretty normal to get booed off the court. Booed off the court.
Well,
he's done.
And I'm going to tell you, I've been in a lot of locker rooms and I've traveled with the Kings for decades. And I talk to the players, not this current bunch. When a player of this magnitude does what De'Aaron did, that you so well illustrated a few moments ago, being completely out of position on the final play of the game, and not only being out of position, but your actions lost the game for the team, that does not go well in the locker room. And you want to talk about respect or lack thereof, I can guarantee you 100%, not 98, not 99, I'm guaranteeing you 100%. The players in that locker room are tired and fed up with De'Aaron Fox right now and all the nonsense that's going on. Guarantee it. Not a guess, guarantee it. And when the players watch what Ryan just put up there on the screen, when they see that, they probably saw it live, but when they actually watch the film, they're going to be pissed because the videotape does, or whatever the hell they use now, does not lie. Pictures don't lie, Ryan.
Nope.
Those pictures do not lie. That is a great. Can we do you have it again and put it up for the people that might have just
I'll get it up in just a second.
And by the way, I'm hearing that De'Aaron Fox's press conference after the game, his media availability, I heard it was embarrassing.
So if we
I heard it was embarrassing.
Well, not a surprise at this point. Let's check this out right here. So this is the final play of the game. I was breaking it down in our film processor.
All right. So for everyone else that's just joining us, the Kings are up by 3 points. Look at the bottom right. Thank you, Ryan. Look at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. The only thing that you cannot allow is a 3-point. Okay. And as Ryan said, that's the strong side. The ball is right there. What's De'Aaron Fox doing there? He should be chest to chest with Ivy in the corner. Who cares if he goes around you and scores it too? All right? Who cares? Who cares? What's he doing? That is a bad look right there for De'Aaron Fox. And let me tell you something. When the teammates see what we're looking at, that is not going to fly well in the locker room.
Grant, the ball's in the air.
In the air. Not only that, he's standing flat-footed.
In the air. Grant, you talked about something about a week ago. You said this city will turn on you very quickly when we started tippy-toeing around this subject. Is this it?
Yep. Thank you for putting that up again.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Hey, before we move on, I want to tell you about New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. They're available around the clock 24/7. For your plumbing needs and repairs, just go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. And don't forget about Sunrise Landing, Calusa's newest residential community. All you need to do is go to calusasunrise.com. You'll check out everything from Blazona development. Beautiful models, 6 and all, no Mellorews, no homeowners, great access to the major arteries like I-5, adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club. Just go to calusasunrise.com and get all the information you can on Sunrise Landing. Appreciate the phone calls. And Ryan, before we go, I just want to tell people, I've got a couple of rant ideas, but I am very open for suggestions on a rant with Grant. All right. I've got many that I can do, but I want to be fair. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to do a rant with Grant in just a couple of moments, and it will be brought to you by EDH Motors Automotive Reimagined. That's coming up in a couple of moments. Ryno, go ahead.
You got a couple ideas. I wonder what they could be, but everybody on the phones, we appreciate you being there. We're going to start knocking them out right now. Brian, what's going on? You're on with Grant and Ryno.
Hey, Grant. Hey, Ryan. How you guys doing?
Okay, thanks for calling.
So I think that there's one thing that we're not really talking about as much for the Kings struggles. We focus on Mike Brown. We focus on Fox. One thing that we don't address enough is the ownership. I mean, Vivek is a tech billionaire in Silicon Valley, huffing his own farts. He's not trusting.
He's not a billionaire. So that's, first of all, I'm going to correct you. He's not a billionaire. All right.
Oh, he is?
No, he's not a billionaire, and he only owns a small portion of the team. But go ahead.
Okay.
But he is the decision maker. But go ahead.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to touch on that. So, I mean, essentially, like you said, he's not a billionaire. So props on that. Yeah, he's not really trusting the basketball people, and he's also not putting the basketball people in charge of basketball. He was very hands-on, even when the Kings drafted Stauskas over some other talent. I remember that video from the War Room where he was like, "We need shooter, take Stauskas." And then how did that work? So I feel like he has to give full control to the right person. With the Knicks, James Dolan, he's an idiot, but he finally figured out don't meddle with the team. So then he handed it over to Leon Rose, and they've been in the best spot they've been at in 20 years. So that's something I don't think we're focusing on enough.
Well, the ownership is a huge problem, and I have talked about it over the years, and I will continue to do so because I know Vivek Ranadive. I know him very well, and he's a very first of all, he's a bright man. All right. So I don't want to, he's a very smart man. But he's not smart in sports. He's smart in business. He's smart in what he went to school for. And got educated on. I've said this before, and so I'll say it again. I've been around a lot of people in my decades of covering pro sports, and particularly the NBA. And I've never been around an individual that knows as little as he does about basketball.
I remember that. I didn't mean to cut you off.
And I'm not. This is not sour grapes because I don't work for him anymore. No, I'm just telling you, he has no idea. No idea about anything going on with pro sports. Can I
piggyback on that?
And let me finish. And every single person in the organization and every single coach that has worked for him knows that. They all know. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. Sorry for trying to cut you off, but it was to piggyback on that he doesn't know basketball. I remember, I believe his daughter had like a YMCA team, and he was legitimately talking about having a cherry picking
5-on-4. But we're not going there. We're not.
Okay. So I'll just say in closing, the moment Vivek screwed up is when he fired you, Grant. Thank you for taking my call.
Well, he didn't fire me. I resigned, but thank you very much. I appreciate your support.
Thanks, Brian. Here's De'Aaron Fox after the game.
with the corner three from Jay 90 there?
I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's not gonna make anybody feel better. So.
Wow.
Where's the frustration level at for yourself and for the locker room right now?
I mean, we knew this is a game that was winnable. We gave ourselves a chance to win going into the fourth quarter. We did do a good job.
Mike was pretty critical of just the lack of fight down the stretch from you guys. Did you feel there was a let up there on your guys' end when it came to that?
I mean, we gave up 40 points, so we did a much better job in the second and third quarter, and we didn't do that to start or finish the game.
Fox, the clutch, both offense and defense is stuff Mike's talked about too, but it's clearly taken a step back this season with the implementation of.
I don't think we need to play much more other than this first comment.
Help me out here. I'm going to stop you for a minute. I could barely hear what he was saying. Could you please, for those like myself that could not really hear what he was saying, kind of paraphrase?
Yeah, it's the first comment, and it was a little bit hard to hear for me as well. But to paraphrase, what did you think about the last play? And the answer was, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to make anybody feel better.
Wow, that's your guy that you're paying $30+ million to that thinks he's the Supermax player. It doesn't really matter. You know what, De'Aaron?
Hold on.
Tell that to the sellout crowd tonight that paid their money to go watch you play, that it doesn't really matter.
So
go ahead.
Let's try to get this clear, and then we'll give you yours. 1 sec.
What did you see on the final play with the corner three from Jay 90 there?
I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's not gonna make anybody feel better. So.
Quote, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to make anybody feel better.
Really? It doesn't really matter. It's not going to make anyone feel better. How about that? Wow.
I mean,
how about that?
Is De'Aaron Fox trying to tear down everything he has built in 8.25 years in Sacramento in 2 weeks, Napes?
I wish I was on the radio in the afternoons, because I would tear him a new one. I'll tell you that right now, but I'm going to do it here. And it's now time for our rant with Grant. I'm not waiting for any more ideas. Okay. A rant with Grant is brought to you by EDH Motors, Automotive Reimagined. Go to edhmotors.com if you are in the market for a vehicle. And here's what I love about EDH Motors. Okay. If they don't have what you're looking for, David and Adam, with their decades of automotive experience, they will get it for you. All right. Go to edhmotors.com and look at all the different types of vehicles that they have. But again, keep in mind that you don't have to go to a dealership. All right. No dealership. You don't deal with all the pressure of going to a dealership. You go to their beautiful auto lounge in the El Dorado Hills Town Center. And it is so refreshing to buy an automobile this way. They do consignments. They offer everything. They are experts in this industry. All right. So again, go to edhmotors.com. Check out everything that David and Adam can do for you. A long overdue concept. Just two guys doing something different, and I think a lot better. Again, that's EDH Motors. So the guy, De'Aaron Fox, who the Kings are paying a boatload of money to, just told you and me, when asked about what happened on the last play, that it doesn't really matter because it's not going to change anything. Yeah? Tell that to the faithful Sacramento Kings fans who booed your ass off the floor. Also, you now have put yourself in a very difficult situation with the Sacramento fans, because they're going to turn on you. And you're going to wish that you never came to Sacramento after this fan base turns on you. And you know what? I remember years ago, you going on the Basketball Tribune or whatever the hell it was called. And you made a plea and you made a promise to the Sacramento Kings fans. That's right. You did a video. I think it was called the Basketball Tribune, but whatever. You made a promise to this city because they were able to keep their team. And you said something like, we know how hard you work to keep your team. We're going to work harder to make you proud to have this team in Sacramento. And you know what? For a good part of his career, De'Aaron has lived up to that pledge. But last year, you didn't live up to the pledge. You blew off the media for 3 weeks in January. You were moping. The year before that, you were moping until they traded Tyrese Halliburton, who you couldn't figure out how to play with, who, by the way, is an all-star. They bring in Sabonis, and all of a sudden you have a new pep, a new little spark in your step, and you make the All-Star team, although you were at it, but you were on the All-Star team. And you know why you made the All-Star team? Yeah, you're good. You're very good. But Domantas made you an All-Star. He took you from a good player and turned you into a very good player. And you know what? The fans are getting tired of your antics. They're getting tired of your press conferences. They're getting tired of your body language. They're getting tired of you calling out the coaching staff. You've done that. You're not a leader. You're the furthest thing from a leader. And I will tell you right now, today, the day after Merry freaking Christmas, I would guess that over 50%, and I would guess it's significantly higher, but it's only a guess because I don't have the proof, would love to see you get traded because they're getting tired of your act. They're getting tired of your body language. And the comment that you just made moments ago to the media, what happened on the last play, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Guess what? Your play lost the freaking game. It sure as hell does matter. Why were you so far out of position? Do you not care? Were you trying to lose the game? I don't think you were trying to lose the game based on the way you played in the second half. I mean, you scored the ball beautifully. Didn't look like to me you were trying to lose the game. But your comment after the game, it doesn't really matter. If I'm a season ticket holder, if I'm a fan that went on the secondary market and paid a boatload of money to go watch you play tonight as a Christmas present to my son or daughter or my aunt or my uncle or my loved one or my best friend or whatever. Hey, Merry Christmas. I'm taking you to the Kings game. It's costing me a lot of money, but you don't need to know that it's a gift. Mm. It doesn't matter. Really? It doesn't matter. Shame on you. That's disgraceful. You should be ashamed of yourself for answering that question that way. That's not leadership. You know what that is? That's gutless. Absolutely gutless. And that's my rant for tonight.
I think De'Aaron Fox just made the decision for the Sacramento Kings. I think they did. Maybe he has saved us the trouble. Grant, you freaking nailed it. John, welcome to the conversation tonight. All right, John, we'll try to come back to you. Matthew, welcome in. You're on with Grant and Ryno.
Hey, guys. How you doing tonight?
Hey there.
Good.
Hello? Oh, hi. Yeah, over this homestand, I noticed something with Mike Brown's timeouts. I know Jay said that he thought he coached a really good game tonight with timeouts, but I noticed over this homestand that Mike Brown has often had only one timeout going into the fourth quarter. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I personally think he should have at least maybe 3 or 2 going into the fourth so he can challenge a big play. For example,
I didn't have a problem with the way Mike Brown coached the game tonight, to be honest with you. I really didn't, but yeah. I mean, I'm open for it.
Yeah, and Matthew, the thing is, he's calling them because of the lapses mentally, the low basketball IQ. If you don't call him, then he's going to get killed otherwise. So I'm with Grant there, but go ahead.
Okay, I see that, yeah. Because on the broadcast, Grant, I know you don't listen to it, but Ryan, I don't know if you did. They were talking about how they thought Ivy had taken a abnormal launch angle to try to draw the foul. Personally, I don't think he did because you could clearly see the hand on the shoulder.
It didn't matter. Fox's hand was on the shoulder before he launched.
Exactly, correct. Yeah. So I don't think that comment had any weight to it at all. But yeah, I just want to get your opinion on the timeout stuff.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
With the timeouts tonight, personally.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Matthew. A lot of people we're going to get to tonight. We are here to hear you out. Keep calling if you'd like to. Phil, you're up next.
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me? I'm driving home from the game right now. I'm not looking at the video, but can you hear me?
No problem.
We got you. Just drive safe, brother.
Yeah, we're driving safe, man. Dude,
all right.
Honestly, so I don't get to go to very many games nowadays, and tonight was one of the first games that I went to, and it was just so disappointing. But honestly, my blood was boiling from the very beginning. And Grant, I got a rant for you. Go take a look at the video before this game started. I can't tell you exactly what players it was, but there was 2 Detroit Pistons. When the national anthem started, they started dunking on the rim, and then one of them were going up to the crowd and giving some hand gestures during the national anthem, and I thought he was extremely disrespectful. Honestly,
Wow.
it got my blood boiling. This
I'll
is
look into
honestly
that.
something
I'll
for
look
the
into
rant.
that. I haven't heard. This is the first I've heard of that, but I'll look into it. Thank you for bringing that up.
Like, please do. And Grant and Ryno, keep doing what you're doing. I love you guys. I hope we got some brighter days, but Jesus, man, Fox, get your together, man.
Thank you.
Hear
Drive
you.
safe.
Thanks, Phil. Drive safe, brother.
All right.
I didn't hear anything about the players during the national anthem.
Yeah, that's news to me as well. We'll check it out. Carl, what's going on tonight?
Yeah, with how the Kings are playing tonight, I think my gay son can play better.
Joe, welcome in.
Hey guys, how you guys doing? Love the show.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, God, you know I was watching the game. Keegan Murray didn't play that good. What do you guys think? Why do you guys
He had a
think
good
he's
first
slumping
half.
so much this year?
He had a good first half. Again, his problem with him is his three-point shooting has been horrible this year. And again, in this game, he was 1 of 7. And you
Right.
keep on waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's not happening.
Yeah, I thought Lyles gave good minutes, and Herter I think deserves more minutes and a little more shot opportunities, to be honest. But thank you guys.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
appreciate you, Joe. I thought Keegan's aggressiveness, especially in the first half, was really good. He talked about that before the game and shoot around this morning. And there was definitely plays called up for him, and he rebounded really well in the absence of Domas. So you got to give him that at the very minimum. Joe, welcome back in tonight. Joe, you there? All right. No Joe. Baki, all the way from Serbia. Welcome in.
What's up, guys? What to say? I'm maybe the first one who always shooting at Coach Mike Brown, but this time we must be honest and fair about those things. The things he makes wrong are something I'm gonna speak later or tomorrow. Never mind. But let's stick once for situational issues. Because the coach is not the one who will teach you some things when you are an NBA player. So can you Ryno please put that picture again from the last sequence on the screen, please, if it's possible.
I'll get it up in a second. Keep talking.
Well, while you're gonna get that, I heard what Coach Brown said on the press, and he was about that. Actually, that last 8 seconds, what he's gonna ask for the team. So he was very. He was not like always. He was right on the point. He said that the whole bench told the team to foul immediately after they had 8 seconds to do the job. The plan A was to foul immediately after they inbound the ball. So they tried to foul, but what happened? You see on the screen, you had Michael Beasley was very bad in the first half. In the last quarter, he hits 5 threes, maybe in the second half. I don't know, maybe only in fourth quarter. But Mike Beasley was crazy with behind the line. So they try to push him hard. So they did it. So it will not be a surprise for me if you have Fox doing double for expecting Beasley to shoot that 3. So because I expected Beasley's gonna shoot it, but the next time you had that picture can be the picture of the year for the Sacramento Kings, because Grant has 100% right. Look at Fox. This is not the stance of the player who is waiting something to happen with 2 best players on the Detroit Pistons. Ivy was in the corner and Beasley was down. You can forget about all other players. They will never get the ball in the hands. So, or you're going to double the best shooter in that quarter, which is Beasley, or you're going to stick right on the neck to Ivy and just pull your hands up and doing nothing, because if they score 3s, nothing's gonna happen. So crazy mistake, crazy stuff for that kind of job. I don't know, coaches, and Grant, you know that perfectly well. coaches in Europe will put the guy on the bench right now in the next
Yep.
game.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
gonna be punished.
Yep.
One more
I
thing.
wouldn't even start him. I would absolutely. You know what? I don't care who he is. When you just lost the game for your team, and I'm okay if you lose the game with effort. I'm okay if you lose the game. I'm even okay that you fouled the shooter. I mean, I'm not. When I say I'm okay, I can live with that. That picture right there, I can't live with. That's insubordination, in my opinion. That picture right there,
100% nailed it.
The problem is not lose the game. This is the best world league with 30 best teams in the world. So it's not the problem you're going to lose the game. Detroit is very talented and young team. It's not the problem you're going to lose the game. It's how you're losing all those games. And let's now go back to the coach Brown. So, okay, he sounds like the team betrayed him. Particularly Fox betrayed him with this kind of act in the last seconds. But what he did wrong, and he did it 3 times in last 6 games, and I watched it. I watched all the games 2 times, sometimes 3 times. So what he did, he always burns all those timeouts before. Where did you see a coach burning all timeouts when you lead all the game? Okay, you left out of timeouts and you are leading all the way. I mean, why that happened? Okay, they cut from 20 to like Grant, you said it was 7.
Yep.
We were 7
and
up.
102. Yep. But they were down.
It's okay.
They were up 10 with like 3 minutes left.
Okay, so you left without any of timeout. So even if they scored 3, never mind. You use one of the timeouts, so you give your team a chance to fight with 3 seconds. What can you expect Fox to score from the half court? There is no point of that. So I don't understand why it happened against Lakers. It happened on the road, the last loss we had. And happen again. Maybe yes, it happened again. So 3 times in last 6 games, Mike Brown burned all timeouts way before the game was over. So
exactly where Fox was.
Sorry, go ahead, Bucky.
So those mistakes from one NBA coach are unacceptable. And the last thing, you mentioned something about booing the team from the arena. This is nothing about. This is no booing. Grant, you know what is booing. If that happened to any of those best 2 teams in Belgrade, you know what will happen?
I know.
They
but
will
we're
be.
not. I know. I understand. Listen, I get you. I understand. It's not Philadelphia. It's not Belgrade. It's Sacramento, and I'm with you on that. Baki,
Yeah,
we got a lot of things. I know. I got you, buddy. I know exactly how it would be in Belgrade.
I
Believe
know,
me,
but the difference is they will be lined up and waiting
I know,
to
Baki.
hear from
I
the
know.
fans.
And I
This is
respect
crazy.
what you're saying. And we got to go. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
So here's Mike Brown after the game.
That's the first thing. But the second thing is, if you're up 3, you gotta guard your man at the 3-point line, and there should be no closeout opportunity. No closeout opportunity. We told them that they know the only thing that can hurt us is a 3. And I need to go back and watch the film to see exactly where Fox was, but there was no reason for there.
We got you, Mike. Tune into if you don't like that.
Be a hard closeout. We were okay with them scoring a 2 at the rim, so you should not be in position to help at all. You should be hugged up to your man at the 3-point line. Everybody should. And why there was a closeout by Fox, I'm not sure. I got to go back and watch the tape. But for sure, 100%, we told our guys, can't give up a 3. Can't give up a 3. Can't give up a 3. Stay connected. Stay on the high side. Stay on the high side. I even drew an example of if your guy's on the floor, just hop on his high side. The only thing that can hurt us is a 3.
There you go.
Well,
Mike Brown.
Good for Mike Brown. Good for Mike Brown. And again, that picture illustrates everything he was just talking about. Good for Mike Brown. And for De'Aaron Fox, when he was asked about it, if you're joining us late, De'Aaron Fox answered the question The question was, what happened on that final play? He said, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to change anything. I mean, that's just unbelievable to me.
Yep. It's not going to make anybody feel better, to paraphrase there.
Good for Mike Brown.
I agree. I completely agree. What do you think his comments are going to be? And we'll have field day tomorrow, but when he watches that film, oh boy, Grant.
Wow. Wow. That's all I can say tomorrow. That is going to be wow, right? I'm going to do a show tomorrow at 5 o'clock. I'm not even going to wait till 8 o'clock. I'll do a show at 5 o'clock tomorrow. What time? You're going to be on at 2 with the Kings Court?
Yep. We'll be right here, definitely talking about this and what's next for this Sacramento team.
And by the way, we have a huge audience tonight, and I just want to thank everyone over the holiday season. I love the fact that you're such passionate fans, that you're with the team when they win, you're with the team when they lose, and there are probably a lot of upset people right now. I get it, but you're still with us. As painful as it is to talk about a loss like this, good for you. It means the world to me and Ryan. And that's why I do this show. I keep saying this over and over again. I mean, I started doing talk radio in Sacramento in '94. And I feel like if I don't talk to you and you don't talk to me about the Kings, then why live? You know what I mean? That's my whole freaking life. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Ryan, what else am I going to say, right? Thank you. I know I'm speaking for you too. Well, mic's off, buddy.
Absolutely. It's why we do it. We're here for it. And unfortunately, we've had too many of these nights, and we figure out where to go from here. It's what we do as a fan base, as a community, as a family. Man, tough decisions ahead. I think the decision, though, Grant, just got a little easier.
Yep, I would agree with you. And shame on De'Aaron Fox for not taking accountability at the end of the game. You know what he should have said? Hey, this loss is on me, and I'm not going to sleep tonight. And I apologize to the Sacramento fans. This loss is on me. That's how we would have saved face. If we would have said, hey, you know what? I've been playing basketball ever since I was old enough to walk. I know better. And I was out of position, and I overreacted. I made a dumb foul. And you know what? I apologize to my teammates after the game. I apologize to the coaching staff, and this will never happen again. I'm sorry, Sacramento fans. That's the only answer that to me would have been acceptable in that situation.
Yeah, and assuming that Coach Brown sees the same things, the team sees the same things, I think the comments are going to be more of an explanation along the lines of what you said, Grant, how it's not a form of insubordination. If that's what was drawn up, De'Aaron Fox has been playing this game way too long. And that team, mind you, one name we really haven't said tonight, without Domantas Sabonis, who's sick, out.
Yep.
You learned Devin Carter ahead of schedule, cleared, might be coming back. Things could possibly have a little bit of daylight after 4 terrible games. And then that, and then the response. I just don't see, Grant, how you can have him around the team.
Man, and if you think it looks bad from where we're sitting, trust me, I've been there. I know it's much worse inside the walls of the Kings organization right now. As bad as it looks right now, it's much worse inside.
Napes, if I'm Mike Brown and Vivek sent me a text message, like, what the hell? I'm just texting him that photo. You have anything else to say? Nope. Here's the photo again. Like, he did his job, and maybe it's a small sample size of the bigger things we've seen this season. So we said, are the coaches coaching and the players aren't executing?
Okay, but let me also state this. The players in the NBA are the best players in the world. Agreed?
Agreed.
They've been playing basketball all their lives, correct?
Correct. Well,
you shouldn't even have to talk to your team with 10 seconds left in a timeout when you're up by 3, other than we're going to foul or we're not going to foul. But, I don't need to tell you, Ryan, if you're in the NBA, don't leave your man beyond the 3-point line and slough off. Like, do I even need to tell you that? Like, you might want to know, Coach, do you want us to foul? Okay, but after that,
no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
come on, it's the freaking NBA. Like, you need a coaching staff to tell the player, hey, guard your man beyond the arc. Don't care if they score a layup. Really? I mean, do you think we know that? I mean, come on.
Yeah. No, wait. Come back. If you go up for a layup, use your opposite leg to go up of your shooting hand. There you go. That's kind of what it comes out to. If you need to do it, it's a good point.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to try the phones really quickly one more time, see if John is back. John, what's going on tonight?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep, go ahead, John.
Yeah, we're getting to a dangerous spot with Clutch Sports. We wait too long. They have all the kind of the momentum, so to speak. What do you guys think? I mean, do you pull the trigger now?
You pull the trigger when it's a deal that makes sense for your basketball team. And if not, then you don't. It's very simple. You don't give him away. You have a commodity, just like you had a commodity in Tyrese Halliburton. You get a commodity back in return.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's some deal maybe with Houston or something. Maybe get.
Well, it's probably going to be more. I think it's going to be San Antonio, to be honest with you.
Yeah, or maybe Miami.
Yep. Well, Pat Riley came out today and said they're not trading Jimmy Butler.
It's true. That is true. Look, I think there's good deals out there. I think regardless, here's the one thing, Grant, tell me if you disagree. The way the Kings are playing, the position that they're in, they're going to take a little bit of a haircut already. The league knows that they are desperate to do something, shake it up. So whether it's now or 2 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, I think the biggest concern becomes, John, keep Fox healthy. Keep Fox healthy.
All right, I think we're done. Do you have anything else, John?
Sure.
Thank you for the call. We really appreciate you hanging on and joining the show tonight. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we got one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
One more, and we'll get to him. We'll close it out. Phil, what's going on tonight? All right. Phil is outie. Take us home, Napes.
Merry Christmas. The Sacramento Kings fans just told you, their best player just told you it doesn't matter. Think about that. Your best player looked into the camera when it was asked what happened on that final play and said it doesn't matter. It's not going to change anything. How about that attitude? 0-5. 0-5. And you know what? Things got worse with each game. First game was great. Denver, final possession, they beat you. Okay. You can you were shorthanded. You had a couple guys out. You took the Denver Nuggets to the wire. I could live with that. Then Ryan hit this freaking on the head. After the Denver loss, he said, I think that these next two games against the Lakers is a fork in the road. It's a fork in the road part of the season. And boy, did he hit that right on the head. That fork in the road, after losing to the Lakers, not once, but twice in a span of 48 hours, the fork in the road, unfortunately, led to a steep cliff. It's like Tom Cruise jumping off the mountain with his motorcycle, right? Except for the Kings don't have a parachute. Tyrese Halliburton, the Indiana Pacers. No problem. Who else do you want to play? Who else is going to come in and toy with you? 6-12. So you lose 4 games. Detroit's coming in, same record as you. You're up 19. You're up 10 with 3 minutes left. And you lose because your star player, or one of your star players, decided that he was going to play the final play the way he wanted to and leave all common sense out the window and not be close to the man that ended up making the 3. And then, when you did close out, when he was in the range of shooting, you fouled him and your team lost the game 114-113. But it's okay. It doesn't matter. No problem. Doesn't matter to the fans that forked over all this money for tickets over the holiday season for son or daughter home for college or whatever. It doesn't matter. No problem. Doesn't matter. You know what matters? Here's what matters. The Kings are 13-18. That matters. The Kings are 6-12 at home. That matters. The playoffs of 2 years ago, boy, that almost seems like it never happened. The De'Aaron Fox that I watched in that playoff series, who was the best player on the floor until he broke his finger, what happened to that guy? Where's he gone? I see him once in a while. I see him in spurts. What happened to him? What happened to that guy that I watched 2 years in the playoffs? The guy that looked like he loved playing basketball. The guy that was a leader. The guy that was everything that you hoped he would be when you drafted him out of Kentucky. What happened to that guy? He's in his 8th year now. What's happened to him? Second half tonight, scoring. I mean, he could do it. We've seen it. He had 60 points a couple of weeks ago, followed it up with 49 points. Where did that guy go? Is this an imposter wearing number 5 now for the Sacramento Kings? It doesn't matter. You know, as you approach the new year and you think about buying tickets on the secondary market or buying tickets from a friend, maybe you should remember that the guy that's wearing number 5, and I got to believe that there were a lot of youngsters that opened up gifts yesterday with a number 5 jersey with Kings across the front. When you think about buying that jersey again, when you think about buying tickets to go watch your beloved Kings, just remember that the guy that wears number 5 said, it doesn't matter. Chew on that for a while. Chew on that. I'll tell you what does matter. 13-18, 12th in the West. I'll tell you what else matters. You. You matter because you're the freaking best. 3,181 people watching right now. You matter. And you know what? You know you matter. And you would never be stupid enough as a Kings fan to say you don't matter. Because you know what? You mattered 10 years ago when we saved the team. You mattered then when the team was signed, sealed, and delivered to go to Seattle. You didn't quit. You did what you had to do. You mattered then, and here we are in 2024, and you know what? You still matter, and you always will matter because you're the freaking best. And on that note, I'll say good night. Tomorrow, 2 o'clock, the Kings Court with Ryan. I'll be here at 5 o'clock. We'll go over everything again. Until then, thank you very much. Happy holidays. Bye-bye.